again.
Well, I was going
And
to say,
really,
I
really,
can tell you,
how many
it
times
comes
are they
down
going to
to
kill all the white farmers and then fucking beg a bunch more to come back and refarm for them because they don't know
how
how
many
to till
times
the
you got to keep
land?
feeding these niggas?
what the problem comes to this. It's you if you are incompetent as a leader, you need a scapegoat. So right now the Boers are used as a scapegoat. So instead of leading properly and taking responsibility, you need a scapegoat. So we're going to designate a small part of the population as a scapegoat. They're the problems for all our issues, and then they don't really care about the repercussions. It's just a part of power. You always need to have someone as a scapegoat, otherwise you're the scapegoat. It's like whack-a-mole. Like, you don't want to be the thing getting whacked. So guess what? I need to blame someone else to get whacked before I get whacked. That's what it
I
comes
think
to.
that's fairly obvious. That's a pretty given strategy. Um, we had someone Pax Americana in the chat. Bumpkin, is that you, Pax Americana?
That is me. I name
Go
changed.
fucking
My bad.
figure. It's you, you fucking white nationalist.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
gonna get
yeah, yeah.
very, very Caucasian in here in a minute.
Ah,
What's
Hey,
going
very,
you
on,
very
you
Bumpkin?
called for the
Caucasian.
white
I
Voltron
think
and
we
we
spoke
assembled.
before, Bumpkin. You look familiar. I think we've spoken before.
We have.
Welcome to the panel. And you say you have much to offer on this, so jump in wherever you feel.
Yeah, yeah. So white South Africa, right? Were predominantly the upper class for the majority of the time of that. Sorry, I just woke up. Give me a second. Of that, I want to call it civilization, but not really. That nation being created, right?
It's a country.
It's a country. Yeah, they obviously moved in. They did colonize it, right? But they made the entire place prosperous. They did.
Well, hold on. Let me ask you a
Comparative.
question. This maybe it's splitting hairs, but I think this is a historical difference. It's bigger than linguistics. Did they colonize or did they settle? And do you suppose there's a difference in the two? Because I think
Um,
India got colonized. I think South Africa kind of got settled, and there's a difference
you
because
know what? I think
colonization implies population already.
right. I feel like they did settle, but there was from the beginning heavy conflicts between natives and
Okay.
Afrikaners. There were
Okay.
a lot of skirmishes and fights. Not even of people that were in that area, just people that were on the perimeter that saw these foreigners and wanted them to be gone, right? Even though they weren't even using the land. Go figure, right?
Now, when you say using the land, I think what you're getting at is like actual farming and
Yeah.
agricultural productivity. But this is the point I was making before about you stole my farm. You never heard of a farm until you saw these people.
Well, it's the same way in Zimbabwe. It was the same. It's the same. It's the same way in what was formerly known as Rhodesia. They never farmed, and then when they kicked out and genocided all of the white farmers there, what was it? 50 years later, they wanted them to come back because they didn't know how to farm. You can't just kick out you can't just kick out the population, be it a minority or whatever, comparative to Africa, but you can't just kick out the minority that knows how to farm without them even teaching you how to farm before they leave. You know what I mean?
It's been a while since I looked at it, but was it the case that when South Africa was the Afrikaners, I guess they built up their agriculture and everything like that? It was actually people from different areas going to that location because they were starving,
Yeah.
and then they started populating it with them.
Yep. Yep. And they were
So if you
underclass
build
in that
it, they will
society.
come. Really, that's kind of
But
how that went.
yeah.
And it just kind of got overran, and they got affected by liberation theology, pretty much.
Oh yeah. Yeah, hard. Yeah. Liberation theology, thought they can do it themselves, but they couldn't. They couldn't. Because they're starving now. They turned all of these Afrikaner buildings into terrible places. Like, have you ever seen a before and after picture?
I've seen some, not much of Africa, but I have seen some, like especially South Africa. Like you'll see that on Twitter every so often. I played with some of that earlier, the before and after, like before before the fall of apartheid versus after. And this is kind of the thing. I keep mentioning this documentary I'm going to get into tomorrow about the fall of Africa, but you know, a lot of these colonized places for their time were little European pockets, meaning they were just as functional, just as European in every way you could imagine as, you know, it's an actual European city. And what that did for the productivity of a place in Africa, God knows how ridiculous your numbers go up in that sense. And what I'm pointing out is that it all disappeared. And so I was thinking about this when I was just monologuing earlier, that all this time watching the white man build everything, and it's like you learn nothing. That's an internal issue.
Well, not only that, but wasn't South Africa considered either a first world or a second world, burgeoning into becoming a first
They
world
had
nation in
nukes,
Africa?
bro. I'm pretty sure they had nukes by the time it was over.
Did South
They have
Africa
nukes?
have nukes?
I think they had nukes by the time it was over. Like, that's how popping they were. Like, let me know. Let me go back and double check that. But
Double check
they
that.
were effectively a modernized military on the continent.
Yeah, they fended off the British.
And that would be like, what the crazy part is that they lost that first world status, or like that becoming of a first world status, and they could have easily been the most powerful African country in Africa.
Yeah.
They could.
And now it's just like, when I was thinking about it too, I'm like, what are the most stable African nations, right? Is it what is it? Zimbabwe? No, not Zimbabwe. Nairobi, I think. The only one I could think of. And if not that, it's probably just Egypt and Morocco, and those aren't even black countries.
Yeah, I just looked it up. They had a nuclear program, and they went fissile by the late 70s. They were more advanced than the freaking North Koreans by the late 70s. So yeah.
Goddamn.
Yeah, this is what I mean. How they fell the fuck off. Now Africa can't put a jet in the air without risking somebody's life.
And they're just cannibalizing themselves at this point.
And what's even crazy about early South Africa is they would take, like, when they went down there, and we'll use the term settled, right? And they were skirmishing with these other African tribes. And you can't really call it a war because it was more of a skirmish, right? You can't really call it an all-out war because there wasn't really a unified front on the African side. There was more just like tribes coming through and trying to pillage. Really what it was. But they would take friendly tribes and they would help them out, and then the non-friendly tribes they would war with. That's how it operated. Like, you can look through their history.
It goes around the world, though. That's you know, Pizarro. That's everybody does it.
Yeah, it's just it's mind-boggling to me that people can look at places like Zimbabwe and South Africa and not see the root cause, and not see it in our modern society too, like the heavy amount of anti-white rhetoric, right? Or anti-European rhetoric, even in today's America. It's wild. If all of the white population of America tomorrow died, the majority of people would starve.
Yeah, this country would turn into Detroit real fast.
Well, and this is why it's an awkward conversation for me to have, and I try to use my words carefully to express this thought, because it's a delicate thought I'm trying to work out here. Because on the one hand, I say the things I say not from some weird external like Jesus-like love for white people. It's not quite that, but I love civilization, and it seems like white people are really good at that.
Yeah. Good at building. Do you guys really, I mean, we're on a path, right? Because here's like the root cause of it, right? Do you guys know what the actual like white or European population overall in the entire world is?
Yeah, it's like 9% global population.
It's like 9%, yeah. Global population. It's pretty much just,
We're the minority globally.
yeah, it's just like Europe and America.
And then
Which
let's
well, see,
particular-
look, Hoodservative, that right there, us being the minority globally, but yet here in America, everybody's gaslit into believing that the whole world operates on white supremacy. the
Yeah.
global minority.
I've been doing real good. I kept this show clean. I'm not gonna put my little tiny hat on and start conspiracy theory stuff. But it's an interesting game that's been played right now. I think this idea that civilization is at I think what's happening is Kennedy. I remember Kennedy. He spoke about this a long time before they killed him. But there seems to be like sort of an anti-civilizational move afoot, like a regressive anti-civilizational move. So think about it like this. This is the point I was going to bring up a second ago. Europe isn't the only like high culture civilized part of the world. Parts of Asia are equally
Asia was pretty highly
efficient in that way, right?
So was
However,
Egypt, though.
well, I'm not getting ancient. I'm just kind of speaking on the now. But here's the point I'm trying to make, right? Most people don't really want to move to Asia and live there for various reasons. Most people in the world seem to want to live with the white people,
Even the Asians.
even the Asians.
That is something that's been bothering me too. Because I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to like word it like, think about it in my head and my experiences, right? And I can't put my finger on it, but I know there's something about that. And then also like openly people like denigrating whites, and then like also like I guess like white guilt. It like there's something very psychologically wrong with that, and I don't know what it is. And it's kind of like it's like a self-defeating like vicious cycle pretty much. But I think people are snapping out of it because it's getting to a point where it's just sort of like, wait a minute, we kind of need each other, but it's kind of hard to get people to admit that.
I think to add on what you're saying, I think it's more Trump's making it seem has proven that it's okay to be white now. I can't understate that point. Like
You guys remember that it's okay to be white phenomenon? Like people really made the news for flyers getting posted up, and it was literally called a racist flyer, simply stating it was okay to be white. It was called a racist statement, and that really kind of showed me how far we've jumped the shark with this whole like anti-white thing. Like you realize this kind of thing isn't going to end well. It's not even like you're necessarily going to lose. Like don't start a fight you can't win. It's not even just that, but nobody's going to win after you pick a fight like this. This is going to burn the whole house down.
Well, it's also like it's a paradigm shift. I mean, look at the Super Bowl in a sense. All that woke shit happened in the beginning.
Damn, I was avoiding. I'm sorry, Bandit. You got it 1 second. I was avoiding the Super Bowl because the people have been talking about that shit all fucking day.
Sorry,
The fucking rapper beef is Super Bowl conversation now. It's bizarre as hell because everybody's like 45 years old trying to analyze rapper beefs, and Kendrick is so deep and shit.
Yep.
It's like, dude, you're fucking 50.
It's
This
childish
shit is
but gay as
amazing.
fuck.
It's so fucking irritating.
No, all I was getting at is like the big paradigm difference was you had a picture of Donald Trump and everybody was cheering and going on, and then they went to Taylor Swift and they booed the shit out of her. Now, you could say a lot of the Philly fans don't like Taylor Swift because she's a traitor. I get that. But I think it's more than that. I think it's more we're watching a paradigm shift right then and there. It was the country's going this way and Taylor Swift is the past. So,
Taylor Swift kind of represents.
I was going to give it to you anyway, Freeman. You got it.
No, I was just going to say Taylor Swift kind of represents female rebellion in the aggregate. So, dumb women doing dumb things for dumb reasons, right?
And that was
she's a feminist icon.
You know,
she endorsed Kamala Harris, and that's my whole point. Like it was the biggest dichotomy of watching the country completely change because you couldn't see that 4 years ago, or take that back, you couldn't see that 2 months ago, you couldn't see Donald Trump being praised as much as he was in the Super Bowl, and Taylor Swift after her whole big 18 months being booed. Like, that's like unheard of.
Well, no, I mean there was pushback.
I
on
think
Taylor
you're
Swift,
I think
man.
you're right in noticing a vibe shift, Bandit. I don't think the vibe shift will be allowed to blossom. It's the one thing that's been fought against ever since the end of World War II. Because that guy with the mustache, you people aren't allowed to have a team.
But Trump doesn't care. That's the when white people
Trump's
don't
not
care.
in charge.
No, but what I'm getting
Trump's
at,
not in charge, bro. Trump is
It's
not
not-
the leader of the world. And this is what
I'm
I
not-
mean about the movement won't be allowed to grow.
What is a movement, though?
I mean the Overton.
No, hold on,
window
no, Bandit. I'm sorry.
It's
I wanted Bandit to respond to that last part, but I was just saying I
Yeah.
don't think the pro-white movement will be really allowed to flourish in the way you seem to be hoping.
it depends. What I get is it depends. Like, Trump is such a big fu to the establishment, and if people take on it like you're gonna call me names and I just don't give a shit anymore, and then I'm gonna just say what I used to say behind closed doors, I can just say now, and I don't care anymore. When the I don't care part starts coming in, you're gonna see a paradigm shift, and that's what I think is gonna happen. People are just gonna be like, I'm sick of this shit. I don't care anymore, because you can't change people that don't care. If like that's one thing I've learned from like the left. The people like you watch last couple of months, the left has lost a lot of people, and they turn to the camp of I don't care, and their political side died. But it's the opposite on the right. If the right people would say I don't care what society thinks, things are going to change.
And,
Then you can't
That's on the
change.
table. I
You
want
can't
to
control
kick
by
it.
change.
I want to
Things
kick it
have
to
already changed.
I want to kick it to mulatto rights real quick. Thank you. You've been
Yeah.
waiting for a shot. Let me get mulatto rights in this. And everybody, don't trust mulatto rights. He's a daywalker.
And I wanted to ask a question with all due respect. When you said that the movement will not be allowed to grow, are you saying this because the white race is being bred out and their future generations will be mulattoes?
Well, not exactly, but this is why I said don't trust the daywalker. You're not really on either side.
I'm on the mulatto side, respectfully.
Right, daywalker. So this is what I mean. When you watch television, do you get pro-white messaging? Like, for all the white supremacy people accused of existing, how much of it do you actually see and hear?
None. Yet you have
Because
to
all
go
the
to these
messaging
places to get
is in
them.
the opposite direction. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Bumpkin.
I was saying that you actually have to go to those places to actually see the quote unquote white supremacists, and they're very niche online communities. Also, most of the media gives you a false fiction of what is going on, especially when it comes to mulattoes. And when you look at the actual inter-race statistics, it's very, 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 very low. Primarily, people still date and marry and have kids within their race.
And Bumpkin, with all due respect, my question is, are you denying the reality that the mulatto population has a higher population growth rate than Caucasians in the U.S.?
Sir, everyone has a higher rate than Caucasians in the West.
That's the point, respectfully.
Yeah, but growth
Yeah.
rate doesn't matter when you go from 1 to 2. That's 100% growth rate.
Yeah.
Does that really matter? It's about volume. That's
Yeah.
just a misunderstanding of statistics.
Yeah.
I think most interracial dating is negligible.
It's negligible and it's very okay. I'm gonna stop. All right, let's move on.
I know it codes at the lower rungs. I know.
I know it triggers you to know that your grandchildren.
No.
look like me.
It triggers me to know that you
Yeah,
can't get a
go on.
blood transfusion from either of your parents because you are completely genetically different from both your parents. Therefore, you are at a complete disadvantage. Just like you can't get
Daywalker jokes. He's got
just like-
daywalker jokes.
just like you can't get a like any sort of body part from either parents. I'm sorry that I can get body parts from either of my parents because they're both white.
And watch this. But your grandchildren will be able to get body parts from their mulatto parents, right?
That's not how genetics work, actually.
Actually, it is. And
That's not how
why I tell
genetic
you
works,
that
actually.
You're a little sensitive. The question is this: are you denying that race mixing is a part of evolution? Let's talk about it.
What?
Well, I'm speaking English. You got to clean the Tootsie Roll out of
You're kind of speaking washed down English, but go ahead.
The question is, respectfully, are you denying that it is more likely that your grandchildren will look like me than you?
It's not.
Stop breathing through your mouth.
It's not though. I'm hitting
You're a
my
mouth
Nick
breather.
stick.
I hear you, mouth
I'm hitting
breather.
my Nick stick. I'm hitting
Are
my
you
Nick
also
stick.
a knuckle dragger?
Are you
I'm
a
asking Neanderthal.
are you a K are you a
Are you a caveman? You look like one.
Are you
Yeah.
a porch monkey?
Yeah, are you
I
a
see
porch
you're
monkey?
triggered. The question
Are you
is this.
are you a
And I'm
pavement
asking
ape,
the
sir?
question.
Are you a pavement ape, sir?
A pavement ape.
Oh, he talking about Hoodservative because I'm a mulatto. I have Caucasian ancestry. I'm the same thing your grandkids.
Yeah, and you're not using it right now, are you?
Yeah, your
You're putting that shit to shame, aren't you?
I'm the same thing your grandkids will be. Checkmate.
Yeah, you're like
You're not though.
Yeah,
You're not though.
you can't run from that one.
Because
You can't
unlike
run from that one. The question is this:
you're wasting away your white privilege,
are you
sir.
denying? The question is this: and watch him run from it again. Are you denying that it is more likely that your own grandkids will look more like me than you?
no, because my family's actually have good morals.
There will be mulattoes. Yes, great morals.
No, they don't have good morals.
Yes. They will breed
They
out.
don't.
Hold on. I want to put a pin. I want to put a pin in the
Yes,
race war for a
hybrid
minute. You
vigor.
guys are funny. This was dope. The Daywalker jokes kind of fucked me up. But Z, I don't think we've heard from Z yet.
Yes.
What's going on, man?
Yeah, what's up, man? I wanted to make a case actually that is a little bit different than what's been made. I think the white Boers and white South Africans actually need to pretty much give it up. It is not a winnable situation that they have found themselves in.
Move
And
to Nebraska.
one more time.
Move to Nebraska or Kansas,
That's-
or Missouri.
Well, they currently are.
Britain, Germany. That's pretty much what. Yeah, that's
Yes.
yeah.
The whites
That's what
are
I think
being
needs to
bred out
happen.
globally. Yes, they're being bred out. You cannot fight against nature.
Didn't Russia have like a program where they were sending white South African farmers to Russia? I thought I heard something about that.
There's a lot of places. And I'm genuinely anti-immigration, but even a lot of the even there's a lot of immigrants up in like the Scandinavian section of the U.S. Like all of the truck drivers, and all that, they're all Afrikaners.
Yeah, so
Really?
the question is, respectfully, Pumpkin.
I would
Is it
rather
more
them
likely-
than the H-1Bs.
Like, you cannot-
Yeah.
Of
You
course,
cannot-
Afrikaners versus Indians. Of course, man. What we talking about?
Fuck me. Yeah.
Yes, Pumpkin, your grandchildren will be mulattoes.
It's personal.
They're not going to be mulatto.
Yes, they will. And
Mulatto-
that's the question. With all due respect, you blacks and you whites, you get along quite well because you're creating more of me. That's why I can never hate either one of you, respectfully.
Were you chopped in the head when you were a kid?
Look, no one laughed. The question is, are you denying that it's more likely that your grandchildren will look like me more than you, respectfully?
Like I said before,
Yes, we're listening.
my grandchildren are going
Yes.
to have good morals.
Yes.
Because I'm going to raise their parents
Mulattoes with great morals.
on good morals.
But that's a deflection. I
You
asked
can't
a
be
direct question.
you can't be a mulatto and have
I'm
good
asking a
morals,
I'm
sir.
asking
You
a
can't
direct
create
question.
mulattoes and have good
I'm
morals,
asking
sir.
a direct question.
And
Is
I'm
it
answering
more
your
likely-
dry question.
And you're running.
That's
The
kind of
question
brutal
is this.
too.
I'm asking a simple question. You see him running. The question is it more likely that your grandchildren will be more racially mixed than you or less racially mixed than you?
Less. Actually, you can't get less
So you're delusional.
racially mixed than me because I'm not racially mixed.
Exactly. So your grandchildren will more likely be more
Well,
racially mixed
Let
than
me
you.
let me
They
let me
will look like
let me
me.
ask you a question. Hold on.
Yes.
Hold on, Lotto. Let me ask you a question because you're kind of beating a dead horse. Let's mix it up a bit.
Yes, I'm beating a dead
You
crack.
seem, yeah, you seem to have something of a grudge against the white half of you, the half
No,
of you
I
that
love
can
the
walk
whites.
in the
I love
day.
the whites. Without them,
And
there's no me.
but what have you
I love the
said
whites.
so far that sounds like a place of that is coming from a place of love?
Yes, I
I
love the
don't
whites.
understand this position you
Yeah, it
have
almost sounds like it's coming from a place of regret.
because I don't right. I don't hear peace and tranquility
No, this is peace and
you're
tranquility.
daywalking. You're
Well, with all due
an
respect,
angry daywalker.
well, let me say this: you don't have to cheerlead for the whites. Just keep breeding more mulattoes with
I'm
the whites.
trying to understand
Respectfully.
you. I'm trying to stay
Yes,
down the middle
yes,
here,
yes.
and I've made
I'm
my
pro.
statement
I'm
clear.
pro
It's not even about
evolution.
white people per se.
Yes.
I wouldn't
Well,
trust.
let me
I
help
don't
you
trust
out.
the hands of. I don't trust the
See, Hood,
reins
he
of
wants the black race
civilization to
eradicated
people who
too.
have your desire.
Exactly. Let me help you out, my black friend. I'm pro
You seem to
evolution.
have a vengeance motive, and why would I trust the reins of
No, you cannot
civilization to someone
mischaracterize me. That's your black trait coming out. Is that your African monkey trait coming out? You cannot mischaracterize me. What I'm saying is, respectfully,
Maybe,
I'm pro
maybe,
evolution.
but still, I
Yeah,
want to
yes, I
understand you
understand.
though.
Well, I'm trying to help you
I
understand.
want to understand
I'm pro
you.
evolution.
What is it about? What is it about?
Yes,
Why
yes,
do you
brother.
seem to
Yes.
celebrate
I'm
the
trying to help you
disappearance
understand.
of the white people?
It's not about that. It's about me being pro evolution. With all due respect, race mixing is a part of evolution.
Evolution.
Through race
In
mixing.
historical sense,
Yes, go ahead. I'm listening.
how is race mixing a part of evolution when evolution produced the individual races according to your
Yes,
built-in theory?
yes. Because as time progresses,
I'm not even a fan of
I'm
evolution. I
trying to
just
answer
want
your
to say,
question.
but
Well,
I'm
with all
trying to
due
play in your
respect,
field here.
and I hear your list. Please mute up respectfully. I'm trying to answer your question, brother.
Hear his list.
As time progresses, race mixing is increasing. It's a part of evolution, brother. With all due respect. Or in
Is
other
that an
words, you cannot
evolutionary
unbake
thing?
the cake.
Political
You cannot unbake the cake. Is the point?
Is that a political function or an evolutionary thing? Because for
It's
all
both,
of
brother.
human history, all of evolution up until now, the races were relatively unmixed.
Can I give you an example of what I'm referring to?
Please.
When we look at your ancestral homeland in Africa, the entire northern portion is majority mulatto. It didn't used to be that way. When we look
I,
at
I would
Southern Europe,
argue. I
all
would
right, go ahead,
argue.
make your
Hold
point.
on, hold on. Before you go too far down the line, I
Yeah.
think from a historical context, Northern Africa was more Caucasian the further back you go.
And
That's
now
true.
they are majority mulatto. So you're proving my point.
That is
I thought they were
one.
Arabic.
That's one
When they take a
region.
DNA test,
One
well, let's
region.
talk
That's
about
only
it.
one region, though. That's only one
Exactly.
region.
So you're proving my point. As time
So from a
progresses,
geographical perspective, that
exactly.
works because
You're-
geographically
yes.
that works, but that's not an evolutionary phenomenon, though. That's a geographic phenomenon.
And that's my point. As geographically different human populations interact due to mass migration, the rate of race mixing or miscegenation rapidly increases.
Mass
You understand
migration.
that, my black man?
Hold on, mass migration in
Yeah.
and of itself is not an evolutionary thing. Historically, it's a phenomenon. Mass migration tends to happen in two ways: war and tragedy, like some
Yeah.
kind of catastrophe, like an asteroid hit your village or some shit, right? So that what we're having right now is a political thing.
Well,
This is not.
let's go step by
It's not
step.
to anything
Let's go step by
historical.
step, brother. What is the result of the mass migration genetically?
No, I accept the result. We're not arguing.
Okay, so
You're making this
regardless
an
of what you,
evolutionary
with all
point.
due
You're
respect,
arguing like some evolution point, like it's a natural thing. You're making a point based on a natural law, and we're going through what we understand history to be to prove it's not natural.
And no
Yeah,
matter
there's nothing natural about it. Even in, let's take South Africa. Let's get back on point. The majority of miscegenation that was done within South Africa was not by choice. It was actually by grape. If you actually look at the statistics of Africans going into Afrikaner villages and graping and murdering. So even up to modern times. So that's obviously not a natural thing that's happening, is it?
My Neanderthal friend and my black friend, I'll answer you both simultaneously. No matter what you attribute the race mixing to, it is undeniable that when different human populations interact, the result is race mixing increasing.
Are
your
you
grandchildren will be
okay?
like
Okay, real quick question: are you
Yeah.
like mixed with a lower tier of white?
You look like a lower tier white.
I'm
Checkmate.
Anglo, sir.
Yeah.
Conquer the world six
You
times
look
over.
like a
I'm
lower tier
Anglo,
white.
sir.
Checkmate.
I'm Anglo, sir.
Checkmate.
I have a foundational white American, bro.
Look
My
like a lower
ancestors
tier white.
directly colonized this,
Yes,
the
the
current
backwoods
ground
cracker.
that you're on, sir.
You're
I don't
white.
want to
You're
hear your
backwoods
fucking
cracker.
shit. I don't hear your goddamn
You're
mouth.
backwoods cracker.
Hard, man.
Yes,
You gotta
we
We need camps. We need
Yes.
camps for
And
mulattoes
you'll be
tomorrow.
put in a camp by the mulattoos. Checkmate.
No, you won't. No, I won't. No, I
Checkmate.
won't.
Hold on,
No, I
hold on,
won't.
hold
Yes,
on,
yes,
hold on.
yes,
We
yes.
got a lot of people.
Let's
I
pass
wanna-
the
I wanna
mic
kinda
away
kick
from this
this-
Neanderthal cracker.
Yeah,
Yes.
Newsome,
Cable.
Real
you
quick,
just-
shout out to Bob for that $9 super sticker he sent.
Yeah, shout out to Bob for supporting the conversation. We are getting to the heart. Nobody talks like this on YouTube. I don't think you hear many conversations like this, and I appreciate the white representation. You know, Team White, y'all got to unite, make a united front. Don't let the Browns gang up on y'all. Stand tall over here. Who's Gruesome Newsome? No, you just joined the show. I don't think we know each other, man. Welcome to
Hi.
That's Latina.
It's me. It's
the show. Oh,
me.
it's Latina.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we
yes.
do know each other.
Yeah. Hi. Mulatto sounds like he speaks a foreign language as his first language when he was a child, and also all evolution really is adaptation and survival. And that's all I wanted to say. I want to know where's Mulatto really from? What's his real background?
He's from the land of the Muppets. That's why he sounds like Kermit the Frog.
I hear a little
I
bit
serenade
of,
your wife with this voice. I
I hear a little
serenade
bit
your
of
white wife
Maryland.
with this voice.
Are you from like the Maryland area?
Yes, I'm from Maryland. Yes.
Yeah, I can hear
You like
the
those white women, don't you? So
I
where
serenade
are
your
you
white
gonna
wife with some
where-
mulatto R&B music.
where are you gonna
I
find
sing
all your
Chris
white
Brown to your
women?
wife.
If
I
everybody
sing-
becomes
I sing-
mulatto,
let me
where
say
are you
this.
gonna
I
find
sing
all
some
your white
Isley
women?
Brothers to your wife.
Yeah, you love those white women.
Yes,
What's gonna
yes, I
happen?
love the whites.
Right. So
Shout
what's
out
gonna
all the
happen
beautiful
to 'em?
white women.
I'm
Much love to the
amazed.
beautiful white women, the elegant white women.
I'm absolutely amazed that you have
Yes.
such a poor understanding of
But
genetics.
let me speak to the white woman that just
that
asked me a
race
question.
comes out of your dick.
He wants
That's
to talk.
absolutely
Whoa, you're gay.
ridiculous.
Why are you talking about a mulatto dick? You're gay. Let me
You're
respond to the white woman that just asked me a question. I know you're sentencing. I know you're.
Yeah, everybody's white in your.
A white woman.
Wasn't
Yes,
she Latina?
let me-
Or white?
She's Latina because
It
I
really was. You like Subway.
Yes. What was your question, Miss?
She's not here
I'm-
anymore.
Oh,
She only
left.
came to say that and she left.
All right. Well, much love to you if you still listen
But
to
this is
my.
so weird. This is so weird to me. Because see, Mulatto, I don't understand the weird bitterness toward white people. When
No, I love
you
the
can't
whites.
stand-
Why are
you
you
can't
attempting to
stand you love
mischaracterize?
most without white people.
It's not
I agree.
bitterness,
That's why I
it's
love the
envy.
whites. Why are you attempting to
So why the
mischaracterize?
bitterness though? Why the bitterness?
I have no.
should
You
want
cannot
them to
mischaracterize
reproduce
me. I'm not a
populate
black.
more.
Respectfully, I'm not a black. You cannot mischaracterize me. I love the whites. Keep making more mulattoes. I love you both.
Right,
Respectfully.
but I'm hearing a little bit of spite, and so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But
How-
I'm hearing a
yes,
weird
you're
spite,
wrong.
like
You're
they
very
just
wrong.
be bred
You're
out.
very
envy.
I do believe you.
You're very
I
wrong.
heard you say
Let
that.
me give you an example of things I have a camaraderie with the whites about. I have a camaraderie with some of the whites that support deporting the illegal aliens that are in the United States. I have a camaraderie with some of the whites that support a federal ban against abortion. So yes, there's many things that I agree with many of the whites on. I have no bitterness or no hatred towards the whites. Much respect to the whites, the righteous whites.
You want to ban abortion? You want to ban abortion? No, none.
Definitely, we need to ban abortion, preserve the mulatto babies.
This
And the black
conversation is
babies,
making me
the
want to
white-
support abortion. This conversation is making me want to support abortion. Holy shit.
Yeah, there's
And look,
always.
look, Bumpkin is so hurt because his grandkids gonna look like me. Look how hurt he is.
No,
Everyone else is
I'm
light-minded.
hurt
He's
because the more this conversation goes on, the
Go
more
ahead.
like pro eugenics I am, bro.
No one laughed.
It
If you're
wasn't-
pro
Aging
eugenics, hold
Sigma.
on. With all due
Aging
respect,
Sigma.
Bumpkin. With all due respect, if you're pro eugenics, why don't you start by killing yourself? Respectfully.
Respectfully.
Aren't you making the eugenics
Respectfully.
argument yourself, though, Mulatto? You are playing in the waters. That's kind of.
Hey, Mulatto, how about you turn on your camera, buddy? Let's see what you look like.
I'm arresting my anonymity.
Oh, yeah. Let's pull up some
Yes.
typical pictures of mulattoes. Let's roll through this real fast.
Yeah, pull up the beautiful mulatto race. We're beautiful. Hybrid vigor.
Mulatto, do you feel like there's a pressure right now for pretty much all races starting to preach to stick to their own? Is that why you're like feeling more fervent than usual?
Well, I'll be honest. You cannot stop evolution. So even though you have people that advocate to stop race mixing or at least minimize it, it will never prevail because mulattoes are the final form of the human race, respectfully. The human species.
What happens when mulattoes
like
mix
the
with
mongrel
Asians?
horde.
Race mixing isn't evolution.
It is, and you can remain delusional, but you cannot stop progress. And as I stated earlier, mulattoes are progress.
Do you know what
Represent
evolution
progress.
is? Can you define evolution, mulatto, please?
Yes, and just to be brief, I'm the evolved form of you and your race, respectively.
You dumb
I'm the future generation
fucking
of your race.
retard. Can
I'm
you
the future
please
generation-
define what evolution
Yes,
is?
I'll give you an example. I'm the future generations of your race. Checkmate.
That's you are so retarded. You are so retarded,
I
bro.
represent.
He thinks he's playing chess.
In evolution.
He thinks he's playing chess, bro, but he's
And
playing tic tac toe,
Hoodservative, let me
dude.
just say this,
Kinda guy.
Hoodservative.
Checkmate.
Thanks for having
You're
me
a
up,
checkers kinda
Hoodservative. Do you
guy.
have any more questions before I leave? Because these Neanderthals, they're no competition. Yes, well, much love to you all. I love you all. Much love, much respect to you.
Hey, mulatto, go fuck yourself.
I don't want your love. That shit's gay as fuck.
Yeah, so if mulattoes are going to inherit the earth, we will be in the Stone Age in 200 years. If that's the representative of mulattoes. Oh my god.
That motherfucker thinks he's playing chess. He's obviously a checkers
Checkmate.
kind of guy.
Checkmate.
Checkers. He's more like tic tac toe.
Yeah, he's tic tac toe, bro.
Respectfully.
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 Define evolution. It's me. Okay, bro. Okay, bro.
No, I was just gonna say, you guys see that episode of South Park when it was episode about illegal immigration, but all the illegals came from the future because in the future all the jobs sucked or whatever, and so in the future everybody was like mixed into this weird mongoloid race or whatever, and it was just like everybody was like it was just they were all the same exact weird shade of like diarrhea brown. It was a really strange like prediction of like
That
we're
wasn't
all
racist
supposed to
at
be
all,
this
Hood.
one-
Yeah, but that episode
Shaded diarrhea brown.
Like,
It was
remember what
really
happened at the end?
weird. Like the whole show is so strange. And here's the thing, though. I like that even in Star Trek, there were still different people. Like we were Earthlings, but there were still different like races of people.
A lot of the people that think like that, though, that we're all going to be one race in the future, that's all commie astroturf bullshit. Most people self-segregate and look for people of their own race. I mean, that's normal. There's a stigma of it in the United States because the whole DEI shit, right? So it's all kind of been astroturf. I don't believe none of that shit is real. Like there is some that happens, right? But it's not that much. And also, people usually, you don't really see mulattoes like that.
Facts. Shaka said, we're already one race.
Human race.
Here we go. Let's do this conversation. I gotta be the real arbiter of whiteness. Okay.
Are you going to race realism us right now?
Yeah. So if we're gonna go off of evolutionary means, mutation predates evolution, right? Even if we all started as one singular entity because of a vast difference of environment and diet that predates that we have drastic differences between races, even with someone of African descent within the United States and someone of European descent within the United States. We might have a more similar culture than, i.e., let's say someone from Iran or India, but that does not predate that we then have the same genetics. If me and Hoodservative are buried in a grave right next to each other for some reason, and they bring up our bones in 200 years, just the bones, they will be able to tell just based off the bones that he is from African descent and I am from European descent. Because our genetics mutated for thousands of years in harshly different environments, eating totally different foods. And this also pertains as well with, different farming tactics and stuff like that as well. So if you believe in evolution, which a lot of leftists do, you have to accept that race is a real thing, or at least different groups have dramatic genetic differences.
Isn't there 3 subsects of race, which is it like Africanoid, Caucasoid, and Asians?
The Asian, the Mongoloid.
Everybody else is a mixture of those?
Those words are effectively out of style, but that's the original subset of categories. And from what Bumpkin was referring to with the skeletons, pretty much that's how archaeologists to this day determine who's who. And so, fun fact, the Native Americans, the Indians, they have legends of Caucasian tribes and whatnot. If you read some more occultic type of or just lesser known writings, you'll hear about certain tribes who are effectively like Caucasian tribes. And the argument goes, not just the giants, but yeah, that too. The argument goes that there was transatlantic travel deep in antiquity, and so you're not allowed to dig up Indian grave sites because you just might find a white man.
I mean, some even argue that a lot of modern day natives are actually a mixture of Asians and whites. That's why a lot of modern day natives are a lot taller, and some of them are even born with blue eyes, without having any sort of, Anglo colonizer DNA.
Yeah, and there's a difference, I guess, because it would be mostly the East Coast version versus the West Coast versions of Native Americans, because they would be a little bit more, like Aztec-y or whatever. But there is, lesser known history that, you have to get out of school before you can actually learn about this kind of stuff.
Didn't the Vikings land in the United States a while back?
They did.
They did. It's rumored. You know how they say it. They don't like to confirm this shit, but it's rumored.
Well, no, they found a Viking longship up in
Canada somewhere.
Yeah.
Not only that,
there's also a bunch of old Norse runes and stuff that's been found all over Western United States.
Yeah, right. And this is again, that a lesser. No, you have to listen to Coast to Coast AM and all that stuff to really start getting into that world, because there's a whole alternative history universe out there, and a lot of the guys. There's a lot of jewels in it too.
I was going to say, let's not get into the great big huge ditch conspiracy theory, the Grand Canyon.
Oh yeah. God, Egyptian artifacts and whatnot. Who knows? I don't want to get too deep into the rabbit hole, but we started out on this idea that there just might be ancient white guys in these Indian burials, and I raised that issue because what if they were there? What if everything we've been taught about history was just a weird lie to get us going in the wrong direction?
Can I jump in right there?
I know that's where you want to jump in, Trey. Don't take us to the moon. Don't take us to the moon, okay?
No. I'm not going down too far down that rabbit hole. I was thinking of what Bumpkin was saying. The fellas at Telegrams, dropped a message about what was going on in your channel, and I decided to peep in. But as we know, anything that goes past anything that goes past 100 years old, just throw the baby out with the bathwater. It is what it is. Who knows if it's real or not? If we look at the Vikings, we found Viking ships, but we ain't found no damn slave ships. No damn slave ships come from no Africa. You can find
no Mansa Musa ships either. All these Mansa Musa motherfuckers tell me, he sailed across the ocean, and I'm like, so after he sailed, they just forgot how to swim? That's weird.
Yeah. We find all kinds of slave ships in the Caribbean. We can find them all day long. Everybody, a lot of white folks still diving in them all day long. When they go on these vacations to the tropics. But the thing is this, Bumpkin. I'm sorry, but I got to dispute you that. We got any kind of African anything in us, bro. Look, I ain't got shit to do with no goddamn cargo cult. You look at those motherfuckers over there, they're trying to bite open a Sprite can with their damn fucking molars. That ain't got shit to do with me. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? That's like me telling you, like, oh, you got something to do with, I don't know, some indigenous white culture somewhere down in New Zealand or something. Like, you're somewhat similar. You're not, bro. You're American. I'm American. Hood's American. We've been here for a minute. As far as we can go back, those people over there are no similarities to us because we have, you know, a similarity in skin color. That's it. It is what it is. That's more that, you know, you're saying it's leftist talking points, but what you're spewing is leftist talking points. That's where all this nonsense and Pan Africanism come in.
This feels like, hold on, this feels like the Michael Jordan meme where he was like, and so I took it personal.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? What you were referring to is culture. What I was talking about is racial genetics. There is a difference.
What fucking racial genetics, bro? Ain't no fucking damn genetics. Yeah, pull up a picture of the cargo cult, bro. What fucking similarity to that is Michael Jordan? Does your average fucking goddamn banana eating motherfucker on Africa look like Michael Jordan?
I don't understand why this is triggering that people will have. We just look different because, like, reasons.
Okay, hold up, my bad. Let me go back to being, you know, Trent McNamara. If I come in here, if I don't come in trade MBD, y'all be asking me, is it all right, dude? Blink twice.
No,
is your wife beating you?
I don't understand. I don't understand the pushback at the very concept of genetic difference.
Because, bro, it's bullshit. It's one of this bullshit. It's another leftist tactic, bro.
Okay.
It's not though. It's not though, because if I sit in the sun and you sit in the sun, you're gonna be fine. My ass is gonna roast, dude.
No, you're not. Stop eating seed oils, bro. You don't eat seed oils.
Bro, you think if I don't eat seed oils, I'm gonna turn into a black man? What are you talking about?
Don't eat seed oils. You won't roast.
Oh my god.
Hold on. This funny thing does happen.
Seed oils is the one thing stopping white people
without
having melanin power. Hold on. I'm sorry.
Like a chicken.
Seed oils is the one thing stopping white people from having melanin power. Is that what we're saying?
Here's the thing.
No, we already have melanin power. We just have to activate it in the sun.
Shut up! No, we don't.
Niggas eat seed oils. They get cancer
I don't know about you, Duncan, but I turn fucking dark as shit the more I'm outside.
Yes, you are right. If I tan, okay, I do kind of look a little Hispanic, but that's not the point. That's not the point.
What? If you get darker, what's gonna happen to you? You're gonna fucking your dick gonna grow or something? No homo, no diddy. But I'm saying, what the fuck?
That's crazy.
The darker we get, the more comfortable we get out in the sun.
Well, we know you, Snowman. You stay in the sun longer, you just be dropping them hard R's more.
Yeah, you know, it's a curse.
Fucking Jesus Christ, dude. I think I might be done explaining genetics online.
Man, you can't explain shit to me, Bunky. You sound like a fucking cracker, bro. Fuck out of here with that nonsense cracker shit.
No, Trey. You really kind of way off the deep end with this lack of genetics argument. Like,
nah, bro.
How is it?
Tell yourself the
genetics is technology.
You got the cargo code, Hood.
No, Trey.
You got the cargo code, Hood.
I want to ask a serious question before we start laughing. I know we're going to start laughing again. I just have to ask a serious question. If we all have the same genetics, how come white people are still white and Eskimos haven't turned white even though they don't live in Africa?
All right, bro. Here's the thing, man. How come we don't look like fucking... I'll flip it back on you. How come we don't look like the fucking cargo cult, bro?
Answering a question with a question is avoiding a question, and I would like to know.
I'm just asking you, bro.
Why? But if we are all the same, I mean, you don't look like an Irishman. I'm sure your Irish grandfather looked a little more Irish than you. So why are white people white?
Why does my grandson,
bro? We all have the same genetics. I want to know.
Why does my grandson, Hood? Why does my grandson? You've seen him. Why does he look like him?
I'm not sure why. Is his dad white?
Yeah.
Oh, well, why are white people white if we all have the same genetics?
So what happens, bro? Why, bro? Because everybody been fucking everybody, bro, for the longest.
No. The question at hand is why are white people white if we all have the same genetics?
Bro, I'll quote SKC, my interlocutor. Yo, we 99% the same, bro. Is what it is. It's just you mix it and get infected. What happens?
That's a crazy 1%. That's like a Hasidic 1%. Like that's a crazy power level.
Yeah.
Do you know what the difference? No, hold on, Trey. No, Trey. Ah! Okay.
Hey, you fucking monkey, shut the fuck up, you fucking cracker. This is
You
gulag.
fucking caveman ape. All right, no. We're gonna drill knowledge into your fucking brain. We're gonna drill knowledge into your fucking brain if you like it or not. Okay? What's the difference between? What's the difference? Fuck you. What's the difference? What's the difference between What's the genetic difference between a red fox and a gray fox?
Nothing, cracker. Now,
1% of DNA! Okay, let's go. And they are a subspecies of each other. But when we get to fucking humans, it's suddenly... Oh my god. Everyone wants to believe in science. Everyone wants to believe in science until it gets to fucking humans, and then suddenly we gotta throw the scientific method completely out the...
Wait a minute, Bunkin.
You're talking to a guy that doesn't believe in science.
You overweight cracker.
If we're all the same, why are you a cracker, Bunkin?
I don't know! If we're all the same... Do I get the pass?
You overweight Peckerwood. You can say it all day long. You can say me. Drop it all day long, bro.
Who the fuck just unzipped something? What the fuck?
That was really weird. Somebody got a little...
That was really weird, dude.
Snowman. Snowman.
Nice try.
Just mentioned, hold on. Somebody just mentioned, do I get the pass? And somebody unzipped. That was a strange...
That was wild.
That was wild, dude.
You know that was Snowman.
You got a chub already.
Oh my god, dude.
God, that was really weird. only on my show do we have these little moments. This is why I love doing this stuff, because it gets really interesting, you know. Can't be all uptight. You just have to talk and let shit come out. And for the record, Bumpkin, I don't hand out passes. I'm just not all that sensitive about it.
No.
I've dropped it a few times.
We know.
Yeah, full well. Go ahead, Snowman. Say you're just a triggered nigger. Go ahead and say it, Snowman. You know you want to.
Shut up, you fucking porch monkey.
Oh, fuck you. Run that DNA test, bitch.
Detroit.
Find out my grandpa was your daddy.
Trey, you keep stumbling into a weird hypocrisy that I'm trying to explore. If we're all the same, what makes him a cracker?
Bro, I'll put it like this, and I'll say this. His lineage, lots of folks that look like him have been fucking each other for a minute. Just as the same as, I did a video about Memphis, and how dumb these kids are in Memphis, how they look alike, how they're all fucking, some of them are retarded looking. That's what happens. Proximity. That's all it is.
You're explaining genetics and race.
And this is a weird...
That's all it is.
I think because we all grew up in the same, weird educational system, we have certain discomforts and affinities about certain topics. But the more I come to reject the traditional understanding of things, the more this alternative understanding makes sense. And I've brought this up for a bunch of times, and it just doesn't make sense that quote unquote civilization started in Mama Africa, because the heart of Africa doesn't really civilize. The only real civilization that we talk about, the great civilization of antiquity, was in the part of Africa that was relatively white, especially way back in antiquity. And so there seems to be this giant intentional misconception that we all are operating under. And if you really just logically look at the chessboard as it is and run the game backward through time, I don't think civilization just starts in the heart of Black Africa the way, the Negro, the pro-blacks like the Yakubians and shit.
The out of Africa theory has been blown out several times, bro.
How they
Yeah,
gonna
the
get
out
their
of
reparations if
Africa.
it doesn't
Hey,
start
look,
there,
look,
bro?
look, hold on. These are two different levels of argument, right? I'm arguing from a civilizational standpoint, which is one human layer, and you just went to out of Africa. And are you familiar with Robert Seffer at all, Bumpkin?
Oh God, yes. Should I say
Yeah,
I'm familiar with Robert Seffer? Should I even
No
say that?
diddy. No
fucking
diddy.
fan club shit. I just saw it in your face. No, but
You about to bust a nut
I,
when you
I,
say
I like
Robert Seffer. He
listen,
about to let his load loose, man.
he lit up. He lit up. He really did. But I like his
Fuck.
channel too. You know why? Because it's very well sourced and it just all fits. And the out of Africa thing, it just seems the way Robert Seffer explained it. If I'm paraphrasing, and correct me if you want to, if I get it wrong, but
Go ahead.
modern man, or what we call modern humans, which would include modern Black Africans, they came into Africa at a certain point after the development of other modern species. So
Well,
we are a younger
hey, can I jump on that one?
species, not an old. We're not the original. We're the youngest.
Hey, can I
That's if
jump
you
on that one, Hood?
go according to that theory. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
And I've looked at a lot of original writings by the Boers, and this is, okay, just get serious now. I know this is about the Boers. A lot of the original writings from the Boers, when they first landed in Africa, they landed into antiquity. All these empty antiquity buildings, nobody was around except for, a bunch of spear chuckers. Like maybe a couple hundred spear chuckers were running around, freaking daggone what's now known as South Africa. And they just found them, basically found dead these buildings and developed the country into what it is today. And that's taking place, as David Drencher mentioned, even in what's now known as Chicago. It happened all over this planet. You've got the same type of buildings in the middle of Manaus in the Brazilian rainforest. These buildings were everywhere.
You're getting into what they call like mud flood stuff, and I don't want to go too
Yeah,
far down that.
but
They'll put like warnings and labels on your video. You go too far.
okay, I'll keep it to South Africa. But the Boers, basically, they landed in this. There were no Bantus, no Zulus, none of those folks around. It was their land. This out of Africa nonsense. If Africa, like Middle Africa, darky Africans were so established, why do they look the same as exactly the writing for 100, 200, 300, 400 years ago? They lived the exact same way. Where's the civilization?
Well, speaking of civilization, and this is why I was and Bumpkin and I are probably really big fans of Robert Seffer's work, because he explains a theory of civilization that you don't quite learn, again in regular school, but it fits. Because when you listen to the ancient stories and mythologies, and along with just regular understood parts of history, so start with like the Bible and the flood and the Ark. That's in the Caucasus, right? That's that little region of the world, right? So the Bible kind of starts certain things in this area, and then you have like what's in India, like the Aryan invasion or whatever. So that's white tribes coming basically from the Caucasus through the steppes and down into India, and so they bring their stories, their culture, and that group, it spread basically from that central that like locust point all over the globe basically. And so you have linguistic traces that tie these cultures together. And then not only that, you have even the deity groups, the pantheons. Sometimes they tend to track. So like there's connections between I want to say Krishna, but some of these Indian pantheons have connections to the Greek pantheon, the Romans, and the Roman pantheons have connections to like the Asgardian, the Norse and whatnot. And so it seems to be like some mother culture or whatever that spread what we know as culture, agriculture, great buildings, great armies, organized warfare, things like that. They don't tell you these kinds of things in school. They teach you out of Africa. We were monkeys.
Don't let me go there, man. I won't go there. But you got to look at it like Hood. This is where. Remember, you put me on to Robert Zephyr. We watched this for hours. Me, you, and Cybertoxin years ago. And one
Come on,
thing
Trey,
that
embrace your inner chimpanzee.
yeah, one thing that I really rock with him on is the fact that Aryans civilized the world. If you look at everywhere that Aryans went, and it doesn't matter which race of Aryan, there were different shades, hues of Aryans, but everywhere they went in the world, they civilized it. You look at, like what's depicted in Apocalypto. You look at India. You look at even Japan. Aryans went to these countries, and next thing you know, these countries were brought into the modern age.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey.
let me just.
I gotta dip out. I'm gonna say my goodbyes. Every other white person on this panel, you better pull your fucking weight, okay? Snowman, I'm looking at you. Snowman, I'm looking at you.
You know what? Put down the bacon and stop talking shit.
Shut the fuck up! I swear to God, me and you hung out. All right, don't test me, okay? Don't fucking test me,
dude. I'm not
Hey,
scared.
if you come back tomorrow, there's this documentary on Africa I want to review. It's like the revolutionary period when they were throwing off all the colonizers.
Don't invite him to come over and be a racist.
No, cause well, who cares? What I want is like opinions and shit, and I like what he has, and plus it's going to be a lot of shocking shit to actually witness, because real history is nothing like what we all were taught growing up.
Yeah, I just want to say this, right? I'm not necessarily like racist. I don't hate black people or Africans.
You strained so much when you said that.
You like niggas, bro? You
I don't hate.
I love niggas.
I don't hate these people, right? I just understand there's genetic differences, and I don't want everyone to just become one just beige color. I think that everyone should be able to celebrate their culture.
No, explain the gulag, bro.
I'm relatively in alignment with Bumpkin. I don't strain as much when I say it, but I think you're onto something. Like we're different for a reason, but that doesn't really mean it's a bad thing per se. We're just different for reasons.
Right, like blood and soil in America. Hey, the blacks get that too, because y'all have been here before the Italians or the Irish. So,
dude, look, you've heard me go on at length about that exact shit. And not only that, let me double down on that. This is why we're different from the Africans and all the, well, they're really the only blacks, but this is why we're different from the Africans. We were on the ground floor building a modern country.
That's true.
None of you can say that.
And they were still trying to kill a zebra with a spear. I'm sorry. All right, take it easy, guys.
Later, man. Later.
Take it easy.
Man, I blame Snowman, bro. Bring your fat cracker friends over here.
Bandit. Oh shoot! I didn't even notice Bandit dropped out. All right.
No, I'm still here.
Yeah, Bandit's here. God, thank you, Bandit. We got a white man with some sense up here.
I'm still here. What's up?
Don't pick fights with my racist friends. I don't meet a lot of racist people. He ain't even all that racist.
I'm offended, bro. He compares us.
You want to turn this into some fuck shit, huh?
No,
Man, he compared us to fucking Snowman and the rest of the niggers.
No, this is what I realized. You actually have to talk to people. It's like the Jared Taylor thing. Most people that the liberal viewpoint of someone is, oh, he's a racist, he's bad, don't talk to him, right? But that you actually talk to people, like Flint says, right? When you get to actually hear where people are coming from, it's not like there's some kind of bloodthirsty, violent extremist. They just have ideas that aren't really acceptable in modern society because girls run everything.
You mean like listening to Uncle H's speeches in English?
Yeah, bro, he was such a prophet.
Reading Mein Kampf and getting inspired.
I mean, I don't get inspired per se, but he wasn't.
Have you read it?
I haven't read it. I've read.
Take it easy there, Trey. You're getting a little carried away.
I've come across
read the book.
Of it, but the thing is, like, he's not. No, most of the people that the mainstream tells you are the bad guys aren't really the bad guys. You know what I mean? Not everybody. There's some real bad guys out there.
I think,
generally speaking,
real quick,
look closer.
I think what you're getting at, it's about perspective. To them, they're the ultimate bad guy, but to because of their viewpoints on how they're commies. That's the thing. Like, from their viewpoint, they are the devil. From our viewpoint, they're the devil. So
from their world viewpoint.
Yes, exactly.
Well, and
I'm
that's the
sorry, but
thing.
the
Your
commies
enemies
are
are
the
your
devils, bro.
enemies. Your enemies, but yeah, the commies' enemies are not my enemies. But because so
Correct.
many people have been, aligned with communists over the years, we've all been kind of lulled into this communist position without even understanding it. It's like the whole
Yeah,
Matrix
MAGA means you're
argument, right?
fascist now.
Yeah,
Well,
but
but
here's
here's
the
the
thing. I
thing:
accept that.
the
I accept that.
fascists are the only people with a track record of fighting communists and successfully, winning some things.
No, they didn't win. And I will say this: we lost against the communists in whatever D-Day, whatever 1944. We lost to the communists when the
But
Russians came into. Yeah,
look what it took though. Yeah. Listen, if America had stayed out of it, like that was the idea is you guys weren't going to get involved. Germany just didn't want America to get
Well,
involved.
I
And
mean,
honestly, if you listen to H's speeches and some of the pleadings, he was trying to stay. He tried to keep it small and localized. He wanted to push eastward. He didn't want to go west like that, but the West wanted to fight him because
well,
infiltration
I-
was
I'll
all
see.
over.
I'll try to keep this without the warning, on the stream and get the stream taken down. But if you look at it and you say, if we had stayed out the war, our educational system wouldn't be fucking having trannies and freaking dresses doing the story time hour. Our TV shows wouldn't be so woke and leftist. Rap music wouldn't be talking about kill nigga, kill nigga, kill nigga every 5 minutes. None of that stuff would exist. Feminism would not have existed, the way it does. Fresh and fit wouldn't be necessary if the U.S. had stayed out of that war. We just enabled communism to just creep right on over.
Well,
the
speaking
problem
of
is
rap,
everybody that we thought was going to fight communism, aka Churchill, was deposed from power right after World War II, and Patton was killed. So the people that were actually going to fight communism were taken out.
Yeah, they
Why
really
was he
didn't like
killed?
Patton.
What did Patton say? They got him
Patton wanted to go after.
we
Patton wanted
fought
to
the
go
wrong enemy.
Yeah,
Yep.
Patton's like, we got to go after Russia next, and he got in a quote unquote motor vehicle accident in '46, and that was the end of that. And then Churchill was deposed right after World War II because they didn't need him anymore.
And
Because
Patton was
he
really popular too, and they were worried about that.
This is why Tucker was basically trolling Pierce Morgan when he said that this is what it looks like when you've won a war.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like basically it's like, okay, all these little skirmishes and wars, we fought, look, I'm a 20-year career soldier. And I've looked back to every little skirmish from Vietnam to Korea, the Dominican Republic, Grenada, Panama. All of them were basically money laundering operations under the disguise of we're fighting communism. It was all money laundering. Everything that Doge is exposing now, it was all everything those wars were doing at the cost of American lives.
Vietnam was probably the most fucked up out of all of them.
Latina, what's going on? You want to come back and say something?
Yeah, I got to speak to a Nigerian a couple of days ago, and he said he's studying sociology and wants to come to the United States to finish studying to get his master's.
He's got to study in South Africa. We're full.
Nah, tell that nigga to make Nigeria great again.
Guess what I told him though? I said, "Oh, that's great, but the United States is very racist. You shouldn't come here." And a lot of other people on the panel.
Right.
We told
I just
him
met one of them. He doesn't want you here.
Yeah, no, it's seriously because Nigeria sounds like more advanced than the United States from what he was saying, because he said they're not teaching them LGBTQ in the schools and they're very Christian, and he's a Christian also. We told them that the schools here, that the schools here are trash, basically, because they're teaching, like, they're not really teaching the kids anything, and Americans are getting dumber here. So everyone was like, "No, don't come, stay there."
So why aren't we getting rid of the Department of Education then?
We should.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people
actually
are saying.
It was announced today. They actually announced today that they're going to start disbanding it.
That's
Nice.
amazing.
Good.
Nice.
Oh, also another thing, you guys.
Come from.
Were you guys aware that the Department of Labor of the United States Department of Labor was contracting foreigners to come and work here. Like supposedly we needed
Yes, and it was being funded
other
by
people from other countries.
Yeah, it was being funded by USAID too, because I'm not calling it USAID. It's be called USAID.
You said,
Right,
I
so
ain't say shit.
Oh, you said.
so
Yeah.
but it's crazy is that they would go to other countries and say, hey, recruit people. They were recruiting people from other countries when they should have been going to places in the United States that were like isolated, like the Appalachians or the inner cities of like the East Coast. And like in Oklahoma, there were a lot of poor people that needed jobs, because when they were bringing the foreigners here to work the seasonal work and construction, they were actually giving them also housing and rides to work.
Yep, they were
So
actually taking the money that
Americans,
they should have gave to the people
yes,
in North Carolina and out in Florida or out in California and in Hawaii. They were actually taking that money and giving it to illegals to house them.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's my question. Is like, why is USAID, USAID, not going to Florida, not going to North Carolina, going to California, going to Hawaii? Why aren't they
Because
going there?
it's not. It's objective. Its objective is to pass feminism and transgenderism. That's what, and LGBT. If you look at everything that was defunded, everything they're finding out, it's all been like, let's fund gay plays, let's fund LGBT trans plays. Like, it's like I said this in the past. All America does is export LGBT, feminism, and trans. That's
I got
that's
some
what
of
we
the
do.
I got some of the list, and the vast majority of what's on that list at USAID was all what he said, LGBT and trans shit.
Yeah, that's
And
what we export.
Politico.
Like
That's
Yeah,
7.9,
Politico.
like 7.9 million to teach Sri Lankan journalists how to avoid binary gendered language.
Yep.
Well, it's strange that that's the hill that all the lefties will die on. So I was just watching an auditor on YouTube. He just posted a video from a follow up. He's holding a sign in this small town of Illinois that says, "Trans women are man," and the amount of people that came out of the woodwork, surrounded him, called him disgusting. Called him the amount of police calls. He has a police scanner. He puts on the video of all the police phone calls made about him, and it was a awakening. This goes back to something that we were talking about earlier about the Super Bowl and culture is changing. I don't know how much of it is actually. I think that people are who are already kind of right leaning or just moving more towards the right. I don't know how many everyday normal people are letting go of that trans stuff. That's like the crux of their. If that goes, the whole thing falls, and I think they realize that.
Well,
It
if
It
we
is going to
think of
go
this, oh my
There's
bad.
because
two
they,
big things that came out of it. There's the two big things that came out is that the United States is, because Obama passed that law back in 2008 where you can sell propaganda to American citizens. That's
Yeah, that
Smith-Mundt
Act that he
Yeah.
had repealed.
They've been funding USAID's been funding all the major news stations to do propaganda against its own citizens. So that's the big number
All
one
across
thing.
the globe. All
Yes.
across the fucking globe.
That's the big number one. The big number two is passing all the trans crap. Now, when this organization dies, that is such a big hit to the left. That's why they're losing their freaking minds right now, because we're basically taking their cash cow away.
Did you know that the Treasury was funding an NIH cocaine study on dogs to the tune of $2.3 million?
Oh no, I got
The best one is they were studying the Thanos finger snap for $118,000.
That's
No,
crazy.
I got
Did you
a
hear- wait, wait,
good
did you-
example for you.
Did you hear the other one about
Guy,
money?
hold. Who's speaking?
Orthodox guy.
Yeah, what's going on?
How you doing? I got a better example for you, right? I'm a gamer because I'm relatively young, right? And as a joke, I've noticed I was playing a shitty game that had like subtle leftist propaganda in it. And I'm like, ain't no way. And I looked it up, and one of the funders for the game was USAID.
Yeah.
Like,
that was blowing my mind because I'm like, there's no way that they're losing all this money with these video games, and everybody's complaining about it, and they're still making more.
Well,
you guys, I have a question.
Yeah.
They've been talking about how, like, if you want to come to the United States, you're gonna have to speak English. This is gonna be an all English country, right? But the problem is that hasn't the United States been funding other countries to teach their citizens English? so that they can be prepared to come to the United States to take our job?
No,
No,
what it is,
not at all.
what it is, Latin Patriot. That is basically the what do you call it? The guy. It's like
It's the slush fund first, the CIA.
at the
No,
top level.
the CIA actually is subordinate to USAID. That's actually how we fund and finance all the color revolutions.
It's all, they're all the same. They all fall up under the CIA, y'all. Trust me. But here's the thing. That's just the guys. Everything they do, like the legit work they do, is just the guys. It's only a small amount of the funds basically goes into feeding Ethiopians that are starving. The rest of the money is going to, like, I don't know, freaking fund wars between Chad and Sudan.
They're influence campaigns, pretty much.
Look, there's nothing beneficial about doing studies on smart toilets with anal print recognition for $6.9 million.
Or $10 million for
let me
They're making
hold on.
trans
I want
mice
to
for
run
$10
this
million.
clip. I want to run this clip, and then let's get back to the comment.
Are you trying to go to the clinic?
Yeah.
It's closed.
What happened?
I mean, the USAID funding has been frozen, so they're closed.
She probably has AIDS.
Down clinic.
I don't know what to do. Serious. What will I do? There's nothing.
Clinics like this are a lifeline for people in this community, especially women suffering from HIV.
I told you she had AIDS.
Close your legs, ho. Ain't nobody telling her to open her legs.
She just looked like she had it.
The other part I don't understand is say
now shut.
Good.
Okay, say we get rid of U.S. aid, and I personally think U.S. aid is just the tip of the iceberg. Like, I think this goes even deeper once they start auditing the Treasury. It's going to get a lot worse. We're going to find a lot of other crazy
Some of them reports that I've been telling you that's where they came from was the Treasury Department.
So the Treasury, Department of Health and Human Services, and the Department of Defense at the Pentagon as well.
So when all this information comes out, that the United States is, as we probably known for decades, but not the average person, that they've been basically against us the whole entire time. What's the odds of civil unrest?
I won't see it happening, Bandit, because the country is too split in the middle. But you posed a better question before. If USA goes away, then what next? Well, my concern is this. The legit work that they were doing, where does that come into play? Because there are legit things that need to be done. You know, people that do need to be helped. I've done it myself, boots on the ground. What happens to that real aid?
They're going to roll it up into the State Department.
Yeah, because didn't they cut the workforce from, you said, from like, what was it, 25,000 people down to like 200?
I think it was like
listen, it all has to go. It all has to go. You can bring it back little by little, but it all has to go.
No, it's getting rolled up. It's getting rolled up into the State Department so they could have actual oversight.
Well, my question is any of this actually benefiting U.S. citizens? Are these clinics that we're watching that they're talking about, is this in America? Because if it's in America, that's fucked up. But if it's not in America, if it's in some third world shithole,
So far, nothing that they've found that has been like maliciously funded has had anything to do with America. It's all overseas and foreign shit.
No, they have $50 million was funding luxury hotels to house immigrants in Europe.
That isn't benefiting America.
No, they were funding. No, not funding. Not benefiting, unbenefiting us. Like they were funding Politico.
They were funding
Politico.
They were giving New York luxury hotels housing.
What was it?
illegals.
What was it?
Because the lefties don't.
Department had 37. What was it? They found the Defense Department had 37 subscriptions to Politico, totaling what was it, $390,000.
Yeah, the average was like $5 million to like
8.2 million.
The lefties that have been inside the bureaucracy, I've been trying to unify like some retards through division instead of assimilation, and they've been funding all these different programs to try to have like, I guess, like foot soldiers or some shit, and they're only as loyal as their last meal. And once the money goes out, that's it.
Well, so far what they found in the Treasury Department too is nothing in the Treasury Department had any kind of coding, billing coding to it, to where you could actually track where the money went and who it went to and for what. It's just a bunch of empty receipts with numbers on it saying money got taken out, but we don't know where the fuck it went.
All these lawyers that were bailing out these rioters, the Antifa buses. They were busing people back and forth. That's all over with now.
That's where the bricks came from.
Do you guys are you guys familiar with the culture war in general, like how all that started in mainstream culture? Like with Gamergate and Zoe Quinn, they literally USA literally funded Zoe Quinn and Gamergate in feminist frequency.
Yeah,
bro.
this on Twitter now. You should have just left our video games alone.
No. Unironically, all this stemmed from some feminist friend sleeping with game developers to make a shitty game, and then her getting mad because they review bombed.
I hear she put a sex charge on the dude, false allegation to him, and he like suicided later.
So the way Zoe Quinn's friend, because I can't even remember her name, it's irrelevant. The way that she was able to hammer him with sexual charges is she said that he had sex with her while she was under duress. So while it wasn't like physical rape, grape. I apologize. She said that it was sex under duress and that he had power over her, and she felt like she had to do it to be able to fund her to get like a good review for her game, so people would buy it and stuff.
Man, look here. That's why the red pill is important. But here's the deal, and you speak this, my game homie, is that this is nothing but a color revolution, and this is why I don't play the history game. What Mao did in China is still recent history. There's people alive that saw exactly what he did and can see this is the exact same playbook, and it just get tossed out. Oh yeah, Mao was good.
No. You want to know how completely correct you are? I had a friend of mine who the next town over, he was a Chinese gentleman. He's one of the only Chinese people that I know actually own a Chinese restaurant. And he would come whenever I'd come in. He'd come and sit and we'd talk. And he loved the CCP. He loved his home, but he loved America more because he was free, right? He's like, I wish America and China didn't have to fight. I wish they could get along. And he's like, the one thing that scares me is now that China is opening up and letting people participate in the economy and it's more capitalistic, it's better for China. But what scares me in America is the same thing they did to my grandfather with Mao, they're trying to do here in the U.S. Like the Chinese, whether they love the CCP or whether they love America, they're coming here and they're telling us that the same thing the leftists are doing here is what Mao did do in China.
It's the same thing the Venezuelans were telling us when they came here. They were telling us the same thing that was going on there before Venezuela took a fucking dump is what's going on here. They've been telling us this for like 20 years.
Can I tell you, I got to speak to a Chinese man. I got to speak to a Chinese man at Costco, and I asked him about like World War II and what did China think about it, right? He said that when the USA bombed Japan, that China was extremely happy and said that China won when USA won. He also said
that's the consensus, yeah.
Yeah, he also said that he does not want to be a U.S. citizen, that he loves his Chinese citizenship because it gives him a passport that he can travel anywhere in the world he wants to. That's it.
See? Yeah.
You got to understand that Japan did some horrible stuff to China. Like, they learned how to turn people into oil in Manchuria. Like, you should look up the atrocities they did, and it's something that's never talked about. But, like, the Chinese... Oh yeah, no. In Manchukuo, they would work the Han Chinese and the Manchukuo Chinese, and they would work them to death, and then they would turn their bodies into oil, and they would like press them down. Like it's actually horrific. And then the grape of Nanking, like look at some of the stuff Japan did, and it's horrible.
That sounds like here's the thing. You're familiar with Dune, right? How they don't let any drop of moisture go to waste.
Yeah. Here's the thing about Japan.
In Dune, in classic Dune, where they had like a mouse in a little glass box, and he like drunk the fucking mouse. Like that, it desiccated the mouse that quick, and all the fluid came right out the mouse, and it was water. And it was really crazy, but that's what it sounds like you just described.
That's how a lot of science fiction takes from reality, and that, if I'm not mistaken, that was one of the Japanese experimentation to the Manchukuo Chinese was the inspiration for a lot of that Dune not letting anything go to waste philosophy in the science fiction books. Because the thing, like, I didn't believe that Japan did all that. I thought it sounded like science, and then I did my research on it, and it's like, nah, like they found a way to drain the oils from your body, and if you do that with a couple 100,000 Chinese, that's a few months worth of oil that you can use to to like lubricate tanks and ball bearings.
But here's the thing with this, man. This is why I look at that with a side eye. You got the communists telling me that, oh, these people did bad things. You got the same people that tell me that the same folks that raped millions, every freaking German woman from 8 to 80 after they freaking on their way to Berlin, telling me that, oh, this other country created atrocities, but we're the good guys. I mean, that's the same people that tell these stories, bro. So I'm like, I look at it with a side eye.
Everybody's evil. Everybody does terrible things. Like the U.S. committed atrocities. Like they gunned down German POWs. Like that's just war. Like It's not that I go, oh, Japan is bad or especially Germany is bad. Those of you who know me, I'm not going to say that. But like, and I get what you're saying by looking at it with a side eye. But people, like, I'm not looking at it like that. I'm saying like, the Japanese did horrible shit. They did these terrible things, and then like the U.S. funded like Lend-Lease, because like people don't underestimate Lend-Lease. When they think of World War II, they either think of the battle in the Pacific, the naval battles, or the European land battles. They don't see the sheer amount of equipment we sent to Russia and China, the amount of aid we've been funding everyone since World War One,
bro. But here's the thing, bro. We funded both sides, bro. Like Ford took the engines into Panzers, bro.
Yeah, no, not even that. Wall Street literally funded the October Revolution in Russia.
Well, hold on, let's get you want to say something.
Yeah, did you guys know that China chased the Hmong people into Thailand and Laos? It was called the Secret War, the Hmong Secret War.
Well, so this was like right after Vietnam, then?
It was the Hmong Secret War, and I think it was a couple hundred years ago.
Okay, a long time ago. No, well, yeah. Listen, everybody's evil, like Orthodox just said. I want to wrap this up soon, but we got a new fighter in the ring. M.A.
That's M.A. man. I know him. He's from my channel.
What's up?
Yeah, no. Welcome to the show, bro. Anything you want to add? Kind of coming at the tail end, so jump in anywhere.
All right.
Hey, Genocide sounds like a pretty name for a girl, doesn't it? Like, hey, Jenna. Hey, Genocide.
There's jokes there, but I won't make them.
Yeah, you just came so far out of left field with that.
I used to have a ball python named Genocide.
Well,
you would, wouldn't you?
Quick question. Have y'all already discussed the whole Boer thing in the title of the video? Like, is that like a done discussion?
It's not done, but we've been up here for 3.5 hours. We talked about a lot of stuff. But you want to bring it back?
Genocide. Sorry, I mentioned genocide because that's what the Hmongs were fleeing from China. They were basically trying to genocide them.
300 or 400 years ago, genocide. Like, let's be honest, and I'm not trying to.
Back then, everybody genocided everybody.
Yeah, that honestly, at the end of the day, like the non-genocidal wars are not the norm. They're like only something that has happened like since the 1900s.
I mean,
here's one thing about genocide. Oh my bad. I was gonna say this. I was listening to like an interview where somebody was talking they were talking to a Bolivian war chief, like some indigenous Bolivian war chief, and he talked to like Americans, like why they go to war, and they're talking about for freedom, liberty, and all that. And he was talking to like the Bolivian dude was like, well, damn, that's funny. We go to war just to find hosts to like get our spouses.
Nice.
Oh, what was I just watching? I just saw something exactly saying that shit. Yeah, like a couple days ago. But
I might have dropped it. I might have dropped the link in Telegram.
Well, no. Yeah. Think about it. When you go to war, right? If America wanted to win Vietnam, if they wanted to win the global war on terror, if they wanted to win the wars that they had lost since World War II, they would have just went in and fucking iced everybody.
Well, but yeah, and see, Andre is saying find a better word, and it's not my fault that the word means what it means. But
winning, it just means winning.
It just means winning effectively. Here's the reality, right? You know how you watch these movies where like the one guy kills some other guy, and then his son grows up, and 20 years later, now you got this young bull trying to kill you, and you're like 45 years old and shit. It's like, I should have killed you when you was a kid, right? That's why.
Did you guys ever? Did anybody here ever heard of the war in Paraguay with Brazil? Brazil killed 90% of all the males there.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do. When you go to war, you're fighting for resources. You're not fighting for resources for the people that are there. You're fighting for the resources for your nation or tribe. You kill those people so that they then do not spread those resources thin. If you're going to, like, this is why I don't get the whole ideological warfare that started. Ideological warfare has always been a thing, but it has really become the purpose of all wars since the 1900s. It's some ideological BS.
Well, ideological warfare is a great strategy if you're not militarily, like, if you don't have overwhelming military capability, then you do something.
I'm not talking about the strategy. I'm talking about the cause, the casus belli for war. Like America's intervention in Vietnam and America's intervention in Korea.
I'm totally with you, but here's where I'm going though. I think you're right. And I've always, like, when we were in Afghanistan, years and years ago, but I was talking to a coworker back then, and I'm like, why don't we just own Iraq or Afghanistan? Really Iraq too, but like, why don't we just own it? Like, if we're going to go over there and do all that, why can't we just own it? Because
nigga, did you just call me old? Hold up, nigga, did you just call me old?
We're all old.
He called you property. He said you're property.
But like, we should have, like, because that's really how wars have been fought up until stuff like the League of Nations and the United Nations and all that. Because the concept is that, well, we'll just have everybody's stay in their borders and it'll be cool. And I don't think it's really working out the way they sold it to us. It's something weird is happening in its place. Like, if you have that level of conflict, if you have that kind of beef with another nation, then maybe I should just own this territory now, and I'm gonna move here and build a Walmart and a Target.
No, exactly. And the safest way to do that is ice everybody 8 to 80, male and female, and then bring your people in and bring your contractors in, bring your economy in. And that's how war was fought up until the 1900s.
No, but that's not what
what's so funny.
Conquistadors. Okay.
Good. No,
I was gonna say, you gotta keep the women. Like the conquistadors, they had a strategy. You burn the boats. Like, you ain't going back to Europe. You're going to South America. You're gonna kill all the men or enslave them, and you get all those little hot indigenous chicks with tattoos on their face. You gonna make them your bride.
Yeah. See, no, I agree with that, but can we specifically say only the hot ones?
What's so funny? You just starve the fat ones, and then they'll be hot.
No, I've seen some butt ugly skinny girls.
I come up with like these little crazy theories every so often, because my mind wanders from time to time, and I was just making jokes about something earlier on Twitter. I don't even remember how it started. I'm trying to pull it back up and go back to what exactly I was saying, but something about small-breasted women, and I said that evolutionary breast theory dictates that larger breasts are more necessary for the survival of lower class females. and people just started liking the shit, and then I was like, wait, did I just stumble onto something? See, you're all thinking about it.
There's several economic and cultural theories revolving around the size of breasts. And the success, like, you can actually measure someone's level of success in their life by their preference for large or small breasts.
Well,
or like ass or titties.
This is where it
guys
came
who
from.
like
This is
big
exactly
movies are
where it
more
came
successful, aren't they?
No, they're not actually.
No, small breast code for high class and elitism. Because the comment I think I was responding to, somebody posted a comment saying you never see generational wealth with big organic breasts. It was some kind of comment like that.
So
they're paid for it. The food.
90s, the women with small asses and bigger breasts were like the models, right?
Well, here's the reason why. Remember, it goes back to the royalty always ate the meat. The peasants ate slave food, vegetables, tubers, shit like that. When you eat clean, you don't get huge, gigantic tits and shit as a fucking, prepubescent woman. And they go into your early teens and 20s. It just doesn't happen.
So I've never seen a woman of generational wealth with big naturals. That's literally what the lady said, right? I've never seen a woman of generational wealth with big naturals. Let me just take a quick peek real here. Let me see. Some young chick.
Yeah, so, man, you got to take it down the whole nutrition route.
Also,
now, I responded, evolutionary breast theory dictates that larger breasts are more necessary for the survival of lower status women. Because here's the thing, right? If you you got to go to war or you have neighbors and whatnot, you don't necessarily care if the chieftain's daughter is really all that hot because you're not marrying her per se because she's hot, right? But if you're just like some bar wench, your life might depend on you having a good smile and big titties.
Every man out there, they may have a preference, but they're not going to turn down a massive floppy set of titties. She pulls that shirt up and it goes, "Oh, you're not. Your neurons are going to activate, and you're going to be like, hey,
there is truth to that.
Find a job for this one,
dude. Ever since my first set of titties I ever saw, I wanted to see every set of titties.
Because I don't mind. Like even homos like titties. Think about that for a second.
Hey, come on, how would you know that, bro? Come on, no Diddy, bro. No Diddy. I'm saying it for you.
See, this is why we're about to shut it down. After the 3 hour mark,
Diddy,
it goes into weird places.
All the Diddy. Every female I know that's ever had a gay friend, like, yeah, no, even he likes titties. I'm like, that's a wild statement.
I think they're curious. And
everybody does love titties, though. I think
they want
that.
They want.
Okay, so if we
everybody loves them except for the person that has them.
Okay,
every chick with fat tits is like, you don't want back. You don't want these problems.
Hey, but big tits was Pam Grier, Bo Derek, Morgan Fairchild. That's what's big tits. You're talking small, tiny women with fucking bazongas. That used to be in back in the day, not fat chicks with big tits. I mean, sorry to big girls out there. I love y'all. I love y'all, but I'm saying
if you're a fat chick with big tits, it doesn't count.
Now it's fat chicks with fucking back boobs.
I swear, if you're a fat chick, you should have big tits because it's weird otherwise.
Bro, what's bad is when you and a fat chick flashes you and it's like she's got pancake titties, like, bruh.
Fat chicks with no tits is the devil's work.
Could have been good at. It's like you fucked that up.
Pick a struggle, sister. Pick a struggle.
All right. We didn't went way far off the rails.
But Switzerland,
what you say?
How come Switzerland's not being invaded? And you can't just go to Switzerland. Why does Switzerland always get to claim neutral and have protected borders?
Can I say it?
Because they'll kill you.
Can I say it? Can I say the truth? Can I say it? Truth. Can I say why?
Tell them.
Because them boys, that's where their money is at. Latin.
Yeah, all the money's there. It's chocolate and money.
Not only that, the Swiss will fucking kill you. If you try to militarily invade Switzerland, like, they shot down American and German and British and Italian and French planes during World War II. They will fucking kill you. Switzerland is nothing but a big ass mountain fortrise.
Did the Swiss shoot them down, or did somebody else shoot them down?
No, the Swiss actively engaged Allied and Axis air forces flying
when
over.
When they say they're neutral, they're aggressively neutral.
They
have mandatory gun ownership?
Yes. Switzerland has mandatory gun ownership and mandatory firearms training for all people over the age of 14, male and female.
When you get your Swiss Army knife,
they were supplying both sides. Exactly. Yeah, they were supplying both sides with military equipment.
So look up videos of Swiss gun culture, and you'll see a bunch of big titty blonde women on bike with fucking not AR-15s, but HK assault rifle. I hate saying assault rifle, but HK military rifles, and they'll be riding. They don't keep their ammo. They keep their gun at home, but they keep their ammo at the gun ranges. And It's
This
fucking wild.
it sounds very anti-Semitic. What you're saying, bro?
No, that like
Right,
it is, and it's based.
Get out of there. We gotta go. Guys, it's been fun. I'm pretty much gonna cut this show off. I'm gonna erase this whole show off the channel. So you gotta follow me on Rumble. This whole show is gonna get memory hold because it gets spicy and we're talking about
The
controversial
Hoodservative.
shit.
But one more thing. Did you know that one mulatto guy was making fun of the way you speak? And that's why I was wondering what language he actually speaks, because he sounds like he's got like African language as his first language.
Did you really come up here to tattle on someone?
Yeah, who gives a shit what the Daywalker wants to joke about?
But I was wondering, did you guys think he sounded Africanish?
No, he's not African. He's from fucking DC or something. He's from he's from one of the wealthy suburbs with rich black people who think they're gangsters and shit. Anyway, you guys have fun.
It's done.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's